Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. Emmett and Ryder sat in the back seat, their adoptive parents in the front. The boys had been with their new family for just over a year now, but the bond between them all felt as if it had existed for a lifetime. Emmett, the younger of the two brothers, gazed out the window at the passing scenery. His mind wandered, as it often did, to thoughts of his true self, the person he longed to be but hadn't yet found the courage to reveal. Ryder, ever observant of his little brother's moods, nudged him gently. "Penny for your thoughts?" Ryder asked, his voice low enough that their parents couldn't hear over the radio. Emmett turned, a small smile playing on his lips. "Just thinking about how lucky we are," he replied, not quite ready to share the full truth. Ryder nodded, draping an arm around Emmett's shoulders. "We really are. Mom and Dad are the best." From the front seat, their mother glanced back, her eyes crinkling with warmth. "You boys hungry? We're about to pass through a town. We could stop for lunch." "Starving," Ryder exclaimed, while Emmett nodded enthusiastically. As they pulled into a small diner, Emmett felt a surge of affection for his family. He knew deep down that when the time came to share his truth, they would stand by him. But for now, he was content to enjoy their company and the simple pleasure of a family outing. Months passed, and Emmett's internal struggle grew more intense. He found himself lingering in front of mirrors, imagining softer features, longer hair. At night, he'd lie awake, the word Emily echoing in his mind like a distant melody. One evening, as Ryder was sprawled on his bed reading a comic book, Emmett entered their shared room. His heart pounded so loudly he was sure Ryder could hear it. "Hey, can we talk?" Emmett's voice quavered slightly. Ryder set down his comic, immediately alert to his brother's serious tone. "Of course, what's up?" Emmett sat on the edge of his own bed, hands clasped tightly in his lap. I need to tell you something, and I'm scared." Ryder moved to sit beside him, concern etched on his face. "You can tell me anything. You know that." Taking a deep breath, Emmett spoke the words he'd been holding back for so long. I don't think I'm supposed to be a boy. Inside, I feel like I'm a girl." Silence filled the room for a moment that felt like an eternity. Then, Ryder wrapped his arm around Emmett's shoulders, just as he had done countless times before. "Okay," he said simply. "Thank you for telling me." Tears welled up in Emmett's eyes. "You're not mad or disgusted?" Ryder shook his head firmly. "Never. You're my sibling, no matter what. I love you and I want you to be happy." The floodgates opened, and Emmett sobbed into Ryder's shoulder, years of pent-up emotion pouring out. Ryder held him tightly, murmuring words of comfort and acceptance. When Emmett's tears finally subsided, Ryder asked gently, "Have you thought about a name?" A shy smile crossed Emmett's face. "Emily," he whispered. "I'd like to be called Emily." Ryder nodded, testing the name out. "Emily, it suits you." The next day, with Ryder by her side, Emily sat down with their parents. Her hands shook as she explained who she truly was, but the fear melted away as she saw nothing but love and acceptance in their eyes. "Oh, sweetheart," their mother said, pulling Emily into a tight embrace. "We love you so much. Thank you for trusting us with this." Their father, a man of few words, simply placed a hand on Emily's shoulder and said, "We're here for you, kiddo. Whatever you need." The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Emily's parents wasted no time in finding her a therapist specializing in gender identity. They researched together, learning about hormone therapy and the transition process. Through it all, Ryder remained a constant source of support, attending appointments with Emily when their parents couldn't. As Emily began to outwardly express her true self, small changes appeared. Her wardrobe gradually shifted, incorporating more feminine pieces. She grew out her hair, experimenting with different styles. Each step of the way, her family cheered her on. One afternoon, Emily stood in front of her mirror, carefully applying mascara for the first time. Her hand trembled slightly, causing a small smudge. "Darn it," she muttered, reaching for a tissue. A knock at the door startled her. "Em, you okay in there?" Ryder called out. "Yeah, just having some makeup troubles," Emily replied, a hint of frustration in her voice. The door creaked open and Ryder poked his head in. "Need a hand?" Emily turned, surprised. "You know how to apply mascara?" Ryder grinned sheepishly. "Not really, but I've watched enough YouTube tutorials with you to give it a shot." Laughing, Emily handed him the mascara wand. "All right, big brother, work your magic." With exaggerated concentration, Ryder carefully applied the mascara to Emily's lashes. When he finished, he stepped back to admire his handiwork. "Not bad if I do say so myself." Emily checked her reflection and smiled. "It's perfect. Thanks, Rye." As the months went by, Emily blossomed. Her confidence grew, and she began to make new friends who accepted her for who she was. She joined the school's drama club, discovering a passion for acting that she'd never known before. Ryder watched these changes with a mix of pride and a twinge of something he couldn't quite name. He was thrilled to see Emily so happy, but part of him missed the close bond they'd shared before. The sister who stood before him now seemed so different from the brother he'd grown up with. One evening, as Emily was getting ready for a cast party, Ryder lounged in the doorway of her room. He watched as she applied her makeup with practiced ease, no longer needing his clumsy assistance. "You've gotten really good at that," he commented. Emily smiled at him through the mirror. "Thanks. Lots of practice." A moment of silence stretched between them, comfortable yet charged with unspoken thoughts. "You know," Ryder began hesitantly, "sometimes I miss how things used to be. Is that terrible of me?" Emily's hands stilled and she turned to face him fully. "No, it's not terrible. I miss some things too, but Rye, I'm so much happier now. You understand that, right?" Ryder nodded quickly. "Of course, I wouldn't change this for the world. I guess I'm still adjusting." Emily stood and crossed the room, enveloping her brother in a hug. "We're still us, you know. You're still my annoying big brother, and I'm still your bratty little sister. That hasn't changed." Ryder hugged her back tightly, realizing that beneath the makeup and the new clothes, the essence of his sibling remained the same. "You're right. And hey, at least now I can steal your clothes without it being weird." Emily pulled back, laughing. "Don't you dare! My style is way too good for you." As Emily's transition progressed, she began hormone therapy under the guidance of her doctors. The physical changes were subtle at first, but as the months passed, they became more pronounced. Her face softened, her body's shape began to alter, and her voice took on a gentler tone. Ryder found himself marveling at the transformation. The sister before him was undeniably beautiful, her inner light shining through more brightly than ever. He felt a fierce protectiveness toward her, coupled with an immense pride in her courage. One sunny afternoon, the siblings decided to have a picnic in the local park. As they spread out their blanket under a shady tree, Emily's phone buzzed with a text message. A smile spread across her face as she read it. "Good news?" Ryder asked, unpacking their sandwiches. Emily nodded, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "It's from Olivia. She wants to hang out this weekend." Ryder raised an eyebrow. "Olivia? The girl from your drama club?" "Yeah," Emily replied, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "We've been talking a lot lately. She's really nice." Ryder studied his sister's face, noting the telltale signs of a crush. A mix of emotions washed over him. Happiness for Emily, concern for her safety, and a twinge of something that felt suspiciously like jealousy. "That's great, Em," he said, forcing a smile. "Just be careful, okay? Not everyone is as accepting as we are." Emily's expression softened. "I know, Rye, but Olivia knows about me, and she doesn't care. She likes me for who I am." Ryder nodded, relieved, but still feeling protective. "Well, if you want me to tag along as a chaperone," he offered teasingly. Emily rolled her eyes. "As if you'd scare her off with your terrible jokes." As they laughed and continued their picnic, Ryder couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. The scared, conflicted Emmett of the past had transformed into this confident, radiant Emily. And while their relationship had changed, the love and bond between them remained unbreakable. The following weekend, Emily prepared for her outing with Olivia. She stood in front of her closet, clothes strewn about the room, as she struggled to decide what to wear. "Ryder," she called out in frustration, "I need your help!" Her brother appeared in the doorway, an amused expression on his face. "What happened in here? Did a tornado hit?" Emily shot him a glare. "Very funny. I can't figure out what to wear. Everything looks wrong." Ryder stepped into the room, surveying the chaos. He picked up a soft, pale blue sweater and a pair of dark jeans. "How about these? The sweater brings out your eyes." Emily considered the outfit, then nodded approvingly. "When did you become a fashion expert?" "I live with you, don't I?" Ryder replied with a grin. Some of it was bound to rub off eventually. As Emily changed into the chosen outfit, Ryder sat on her bed, a thoughtful expression on his face. "So this Olivia, you really like her, huh?" Emily emerged from her closet, smoothing down her sweater. "Yeah, I do. She's smart and funny, and she makes me feel normal, like I'm just any other girl." Ryder's heart swelled with a mixture of pride and protectiveness. "You are just any other girl, Em. A pretty amazing one at that." Emily smiled softly at her brother's words. "Thanks, Rye. That means a lot coming from you." As Emily put the finishing touches on her makeup, Ryder cleared his throat. "Listen, Em, I know you can take care of yourself, but if you ever need me, for anything, I'm here. Okay?" Emily turned to face him, her eyes shining with affection. "I know, Rye. You've always been there for me. That's never going to change." The doorbell rang, signaling Olivia's arrival. Emily took a deep breath, suddenly nervous. Ryder stood and gave her a quick hug. "You've got this. Go have fun." As Emily descended the stairs to meet Olivia, Ryder watched from the top, his heart full of conflicting emotions. Pride in the beautiful, confident woman his sister had become, worry for the challenges she might face, and a bittersweet realization that she was growing up, forging her own path. The front door closed behind Emily and Olivia, and Ryder retreated to his room. He flopped onto his bed, staring at the ceiling, lost in thought. The house felt strangely quiet without Emily's presence. Their parents found him there a while later, still deep in contemplation. Their mother sat on the edge of the bed while their father leaned against the doorframe. "Everything okay, sweetie?" their mother asked, concern evident in her voice. Ryder sat up, running a hand through his hair. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking." "About Emily?" their father questioned gently. Ryder nodded. "It's just, everything's changing so fast. She's so different now, but also still the same, and I'm trying to figure out where I fit in all of this." Their mother placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Change can be difficult even when it's positive, but your role in Emily's life is just as important as it's always been. You're her brother, her protector, her friend." "Your mother's right," their father added. "Emily may be discovering new parts of herself, but she'll always need you, just in different ways now." Ryder absorbed their words, feeling some of the tension leave his body. "I guess I'm just worried about her. The world can be cruel, and I want to shield her from that." His parents exchanged a knowing look. "We understand," his mother said, "but part of loving someone is letting them face the world on their own terms. We can't protect Emily from everything, but we can make sure she knows she has a safe place to come home to." Ryder nodded, a small smile forming on his lips. "You're right. Thanks, Mom. Dad?" As his parents left the room, Ryder felt a renewed sense of purpose. He couldn't control the outside world or the challenges Emily might face, but he could ensure that she always had a steadfast ally in him. Hours later, Ryder heard the front door open and close. He made his way downstairs to find Emily in the kitchen, a dreamy expression on her face as she poured herself a glass of water. "Hey," he said softly, not wanting to startle her. "How was it?" Emily turned, her face lighting up. "It was amazing, Rye. Olivia she's just incredible." Ryder leaned against the counter, genuinely happy to see his sister so joyful. Yeah? Tell me about it. As Emily launched into a detailed account of her day, Ryder listened attentively. He found himself smiling at her enthusiasm, her hands moving animatedly as she spoke. This was his sister, changed in many ways, yet fundamentally the same person he'd always known and loved. In that moment, Ryder realized that while their relationship had evolved, the core of it remained unshakable. They were no longer just brothers, but brother and sister, bound by a unique shared history and an unbreakable bond of love and understanding. As Emily's story wound down, she paused, looking at Ryder with a mix of gratitude and affection. Thanks for listening, Rye, and for everything else. I don't know if I could have done all this without you. Ryder pulled her into a hug. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for, Em, but I'll always be here, no matter what. As they stood there in the quiet kitchen, Ryder felt a sense of peace settle over him. The future was uncertain, full of potential challenges and triumphs for both of them, but he knew that whatever came their way, they would face it together, as siblings, as friends, as an unbreakable team. The weeks turned into months, and Emily continued to flourish. Her relationship with Olivia deepened, bringing new joys and challenges into her life. Ryder watched with a mixture of pride and protectiveness as his sister navigated the complexities of her first serious relationship. One evening, as the family sat around the dinner table, Emily cleared her throat nervously. So, I have something to tell you all. Their parents and Ryder looked at her expectantly, sensing the importance of the moment. Olivia asked me to go to prom with her, Emily said, a blend of excitement and apprehension in her voice, and I said yes. Their mother clapped her hands together in delight. Oh, sweetheart, that's wonderful. Their father nodded approvingly. Olivia's a good kid. We're happy for you, Emily. Ryder, however, remained silent, his expression unreadable. Emily glanced at him uncertainly. Rye, what do you think? Ryder took a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. Are you sure about this, Em? Prom is a big deal. Everyone will be there, and not everyone might be understanding. Emily's face fell slightly. I know it might be challenging, but I want to go. I want to have that experience, just like any other girl. Their mother reached out, placing a hand over Emily's. And you should, sweetheart. You deserve to enjoy your prom. Ryder nodded slowly, realizing his concerns were overshadowing his sister's happiness. You're right. I'm sorry, Em. I just worry sometimes. But Mom's right. You deserve this. And hey, if anyone gives you trouble, they'll have to answer to me. Emily's smile returned, brighter than ever. Thanks, Rye. Your support means everything to me. As the conversation turned to dresses and corsages, Ryder found himself swept up in the excitement. He realized that this was another milestone in Emily's journey, another opportunity for her to fully embrace her true self. The night of the prom arrived, and the house was a flurry of activity. Emily stood in front of her full-length mirror, smoothing down her gown, a stunning floor-length dress in a deep emerald green that complemented her auburn hair perfectly. A knock at the door interrupted her nervous adjustments. Come in, she called out. Ryder entered, looking dapper in a well-fitted suit. He stopped short when he saw Emily, his eyes widening in amazement. Wow, Em, he breathed. You look incredible. Emily turned to face him, a shy smile on her lips. Really? You don't think it's too much? Ryder shook his head emphatically. Not at all. You're going to be the belle of the ball. Emily's smile widened, but there was still a hint of nervousness in her eyes. I'm excited, but also terrified. What if people say something? What if they're cruel? Ryder crossed the room, placing his hands on Emily's shoulders. Listen to me, Em. You are strong, beautiful, and brave. Anyone who can't see that isn't worth your time. And remember, Olivia will be right there with you. Plus, I may have asked a few of my friends who are going to keep an eye out for you. Emily's eyes welled up with tears of gratitude. You did that for me? Of course, Ryder replied softly. You're my sister. I'll always have your back. They were interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. Emily took a deep breath. That'll be Olivia. Ryder offered his arm with an exaggerated bow. Shall we, milady? Your carriage awaits. Laughing, Emily looped her arm through his. As they descended the stairs, they could hear the excited voices of their parents and Olivia in the entryway. Olivia's face lit up when she saw Emily, her eyes filled with admiration and affection. "Emily, you look absolutely stunning," she said, her voice full of awe. As their parents snapped pictures and made the typical fuss, Ryder stood back, watching the scene with a full heart. He saw the way Olivia looked at Emily, with such genuine care and respect. He saw the confidence radiating from his sister, a far cry from the uncertain person she had once been. Before they left, Emily pulled Ryder aside for one last hug. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." Ryder hugged her tightly, careful not to wrinkle her dress. "Go have the time of your life, Em. You deserve it." As the girls drove away, Ryder stood on the porch with his parents, waving until the car was out of sight. His mother wrapped an arm around his waist. You're a good brother, Ryder," she said softly. "Emily is lucky to have you." Ryder smiled, his eyes still on the road where Emily had disappeared. "I'm the lucky one," he replied. "I've gained an amazing sister." The night wore on, and Ryder found himself unable to sleep, anxiously awaiting Emily's return. When he finally heard the front door open in the early hours of the morning, he made his way downstairs. Emily was in the kitchen, still in her prom dress, a radiant smile on her face. When she saw Ryder, she rushed to him, enveloping him in a hug. "It was magical, Ry," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "Everything was perfect." As Emily recounted the events of the night, the dancing, the laughter, the feeling of complete acceptance, Ryder listened with a heart full of joy. He realized that this moment, his sister glowing with happiness, was the culmination of a long journey they had taken together. From the scared child who had confided in him about her true identity to this confident young woman before him, Emily had come so far. And Ryder had been there every step of the way, his love and support unwavering. As the first light of dawn began to creep through the windows, Emily yawned, the excitement of the night finally catching up with her. "I should get some sleep," she said, giving Ryder one last hug. "Thanks for waiting up for me." "Always," Ryder replied, watching as she made her way upstairs. Standing alone in the quiet kitchen, Ryder felt a profound sense of peace. The journey hadn't always been easy, and he knew there would be more challenges ahead. But seeing Emily so happy, so comfortable in her own skin, made every difficult moment worth it. He realized that in supporting Emily's transformation, he too had grown and changed. He had become more empathetic, more understanding, and ultimately a better person. Their bond, far from being weakened by the changes they had undergone, had only grown stronger. As Ryder finally made his way back to bed, he felt grateful for the sister he had gained, for the family that had supported them both, and for the love that had seen them through every step of this remarkable journey. Whatever the future held, he knew that he and Emily would face it together, their sibling bond unbreakable and their love for each other unconditional. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.